Welcome back to Heartland Arms. I'm Michael, and we're stepping into the world of defense. Now, we did talk about home defense already, and I know I expanded that into a vehicle, and I did touch a little bit about public instead of just being at home. So I wanted to I'm going to expand a little bit on that as well. And I know I spoke about, being in a car. Some states consider you being in a vehicle that's your property. So like motorhomes are sometimes considered homes, sometimes considered vehicles, but the reality and what I believe is a car is still an extension of your home. Okay, when you're at home, you expect that you have a lot more privacy than you do in your car. I get that, because if you're in your car, and you're in public, there's no expectation of privacy. I get that. But it's not like you're walking down the road and I'm gonna leave my remote control here and I'm gonna walk off and expect it to be there later. No. So your car is a little bit of an extension of your home, especially if you work out of your car, or, hate to say it, but if you are homeless, you might live out of your car, and that is your home. That's kind of why I went into the vehicle stuff in the home defense as well. Now, what we're going to cover on this episode is going to be more self-defense as far as being out in public. Now, this is going to be outside of your car, outside of your home, okay? That's the big that's a big difference to me. And before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, follow on Facebook, Instagram, X, all social media. We're also on Facebook. Make sure you like, subscribe there. YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, all kinds of podcast players. Make sure you get, like, subscribe, because this content's hard to get out to you. So, and this isn't just going to be, I know we're going to talk a lot about when you're carrying a firearm and, defending yourself with deadly force versus, hey, get away. Okay. And I will tell you right now, if you have to defend yourself with a firearm in public, okay? First thing I would say is, if you can get yourself out of the situation without any of your loved ones getting hurt, that's what I would recommend. I'm going to say that right off the bat. If you could escape, I don't care if you're in a stand my ground state, I'm allowed to do that in public. I don't care. I would recommend, if you have the possibility to take your family, your loved ones, the people that you are directly trying to protect, if you can get you guys out of a situation, I would always recommend it. That's step one. If you can't, you have to do what you have to do. Again, defend yourself accordingly. Now, if someone comes up and they want to punch me, no. This is a no. Okay? If they have a baseball bat and they're 3 blocks away saying they're going to bash my head in, no. This is not good. Okay? If they have a knife and they just came around the corner 5 feet in front of you and they point at you and say, you're dead, and they start coming at you, that might be the situation. I might have to keep myself alive. I don't want to do this, but it's not really my choice anymore, right? They made the choice. they're going to deal with the repercussions. And that's what people don't understand is there are repercussions for life, okay? And if someone comes up and tries to, do something to you, you do have the right to defend yourself, okay? And I'm going to go away from deadly force, and I'm going to just go on, let's go on just defending yourself, okay? So the idea of defending yourself, and it's gotten out there where, and I see people do it all the time. Hit me and see what happens. Hit me and see what happens. To me, that's stupid. That comes off as retaliatory to me, okay? As a society, we should know if we approach someone and we want to do harm to them, they're going to defend themselves. It's nice to give them a warning, but make sure I would recommend doing that warning right. If they start to come up and they're threatening you, take a couple steps back. Hey, stay away from me. Hey, stay away from me. Do that. You don't have to say, if you keep approaching me, I'm going to do something. I'm going to defend myself. You can. You can say, I'm going to defend myself. That's fine. I would recommend not saying, you keep stepping up, see what happens. That, to me, I guess technically you might be able to get away with it. I just don't like that, okay? I just don't like that. And a lot of people will say, well, so if someone's approaching at me and I happen to have pepper spray or a taser or something, and it's in my pocket and I see someone's getting aggressive at me, and they get too close and I pull out my pepper spray because I have to defend myself. I fear that and here's where it comes down to. I have to be fearful that they are going to cause me harm right now, okay? And I have to fear that I have to do something to stop their attack, okay? Those are kind of what we're going through here. Always keep that in mind. So if I pull my pepper spray because I think he's going to hurt me, right now he's approaching me and I fear that he's going to hurt me. I could pull out my pepper spray, and if he turns away, great, I hope he does. Now, don't think that he has to call the police and say, oh, yeah, he threatened me with pepper spray. No, I was defending myself. That's what it is. And I will tell you, anytime you are using deadly force, if you have to draw that firearm, your intent should be, I have to save my life. I'm in immediate danger of losing my life or being severely injured at this exact moment, and I'm going to do that. Now, if he's charging and you pull it up, and then he trips on his way running to you, and the knife slides from his hand and goes right past you. This is where it gets kind of tricky, because you're already here. And as long as he doesn't advance, or he doesn't do anything else, deadly force is no longer really warranted. Now, there's a firearm in play at this point. If he charges you, he can get that firearm, and now the threat is now immediate again, because he's coming at you to take your firearm to do serious bodily injury or to unalive you. You see where it gets kind of tricky, especially with self-defense. Now, I see a lot of tough guys go out there and they kind of provoke a fight. And I don't like that either. They'll go outside and, you know what? Go ahead and hit me. I'll let you take the first swing. You're provoking a fight. Okay? Oh, there's a lot of misconception that if someone comes up and they raise their hand, and I have to wait for them to actually make contact with me before I could defend myself. And that's just simply not true, okay? And to make it how absurd is, the guy's coming out with a knife. Okay, well, I don't know how good he is with that knife. Let him stab me. Oh, yep, he hit a good organ. Bam. You see how stupid that sounds? Just doesn't even sound right. You don't wait till someone stabs you before, yep, that was deadly, so now I can shoot him. What? Are you brain dead? What? It just doesn't make sense. So if someone comes out very aggressive and they go to swing on you, and I see it in the First Amendment auditors all the time. They go to swing or they grab your property or anything, and you have to defend yourself. And yes, your property, especially here in Nebraska, your property is an extension of you. So if you're out there holding a camera and you're taking pictures and someone grabs it, you can defend yourself and your property. The minute they touch that equipment, it's an assault, okay? Generally, battery has always been the actual act of hitting. So when you say, you'll hear the term assault and battery, it's a very old term. Assault is the action, battery is the actual physical part of it. It's kind of gotten away from a lot of that. So if someone comes up and they're getting ready to punch you, and you drop them, I was defending myself. And hopefully you have a camera so you could catch it all on camera and say, hey. And if you get arrested, you're going to have to defend that in court. I hate to say it, but that's going to be where a lot of this ends up. If the prosecutor will look at it, he advanced at him. This guy was backing away. The guy reached and wham. Yeah, that's kind of self-defense. That guy could have walked away. The guy could have turned around. They're going to look at who the aggressor was. Okay? And I'll give you an example of a real life deal. Was in a grocery store. We're going through self-checkout. Lady next to me I don't know, she was having a bad day. I don't know. I walked past her. She didn't like me walking right past her. I guess I might have, spooked her going to the register. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it caused a conflict. And I'm there just to get my groceries. I'm like, I don't want to be there any longer than I have to, let alone deal with anybody in there. So she goes out, I go out, she's yelling at me. She's parked over here, I'm parked over here. She gets in her car and then drives it over to me. I'm telling you right now, who's the aggressor? She is. Because she came over and then when she came over, she got out of the car with a tire iron. Okay? Now she has a weapon. It was one of the... Really? I just ran out to the grocery store? Left it at home, people. Left it at home. Now, I'm kind of glad I did because, I also got to understand that when she got out, she had that choked up. I'm like, even if she tried to hit me with that, it's not going to really do any damage. Definitely got reach on her. So, I'm glad I didn't because it could have turned different. It really could have. And it could have been justified. I'm glad it went the way it did. I pushed her away and she got in her car and drove away. We called the police and had them come out. And of course, nothing happened. That sometimes happens when they say, it's a he said, she said kind of deal. They'll have to go back and look at cameras. And then, I hate to say it, but a lot of times they don't want to deal with that kind of crap because it's exactly what it is, crap. So keep that in mind. Pushing someone away because they approach you and they invade your bubble or they invade your space and your space is here. Okay. You don't have to wait for them to be, this far from you. If someone gets there and you put and I put my hand up and let's say they're in my face and I pull up my hands like this to protect myself, and my hand hits them before they hit me. Doesn't matter. You touched me, that's assault. No. You assaulted me because you got too close to me. Okay? Does that mean that if you get in my face and I sneeze and headbutt you, that I've assaulted you? No, that's stupid. That's what it comes down to. So if you have to retreat or if you can get away, I would recommend it. But keep in mind that you don't have to wait for someone to physically hurt you or start hurting you to defend yourself, okay? It just, the laws are designed that way. And because the 6 people in the box are going to look and say, and hopefully watch a video of this guy walking across the street, cursing you out, and then grabbing you or getting in your face or something like that, and you defending yourself. A reasonable person says, why didn't he just walk away? Why didn't he just, you're minding your own business over here. He came to you. Now, that doesn't mean that just because people approach you, that now you can just, I'm defending myself. No, it doesn't work that way. If someone comes over and says, hey, I'd like to know what you're doing, and you punch them in the face, I'm defending myself. No, that's not defending yourself. And then when that jury looks and watch the video and go, well, he was walking up to you to ask you a question. He didn't look like he was walking up angry. It didn't intent, and that intent would be shown. Okay, walking up kind of angry, aggressive, fast, clenched fists. There are use common sense, people. You could tell when someone's going to assault you when they're coming up to you. It's just the way it is. You stopped in traffic and, or the guy in front of you road rages and gets out and walks over to your car, and your window's down. Yeah. Your wife's in the car, the kid's in your car. He gets out of your car and you're like, oh, does that mean you have to sit in your car and wait for him to come punch you? No. If you step out of your car and say, hey, we don't need to do this, and they continue to approach you, even though you stepped out of the car, you're still defending yourself. Okay? Even Jedis knew to take the high ground. Come on, let's get real here. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow with any of the content we do. It's really hard to get it out to you guys. So, use the force and force that button to click. All right? And we'll see you all next time.